to Stories and Songs of American Folk Heroes. I'm Julie Schlosser.
And I'm Liz Stevenson.
And this week we'll be sharing with you the story of John Henry.
Like our story of Johnny Appleseed last week, John Henry was a real person whose story has been passed down through the years.
John Henry was a former African-American slave, and he went to work building our nation's first railroads, as many freed slaves did at that time. Around 1870, he began to work on building a railway tunnel through Big Bend Mountain in West Virginia for the Chesapeake and Ohio Railroad Company.
John's job was hitting steel spikes with a sledgehammer into rocks to help hold the rails and make spots for dynamite to blast through the mountains. He was known for being the fastest and strongest worker on the railroad. He was also known as a kind and friendly man, and his fellow steel drivers frequently challenged him to contests to see who was the hardest worker, but no one could ever beat John.
Legend has it that one day a salesman came along with a new steam-powered drill that could do John's job faster and better, and would surely take John's place on the job. So John decided to challenge the machine to see who could get the work done faster. The early steam-powered machines had a tendency to get stuck on the rocks, and work would have to stop so someone could reset the machines. But John never got stuck or missed his spike.
In the end, John beat the machine, but he worked so hard that his heart gave out and he died. There's a statue of him today near the Big Bend Tunnel where he worked and died. Next, we'll do a song together to help you remember the story of John Henry. When John Henry was a little baby boy, you could hold him in the palm of your hand. He gave a long and lonesome cry, gonna be a steel driving man, Lord, Lord, gonna be a steel driving man.
Well, the captain said to John Henry, gonna bring that steam drill round, gonna take that steam drill out on the job, gonna walk that steel on down, Lord, Lord, gonna walk that steel on down.
John Henry said to the captain, a man ain't nothing but a man, and before I let a steam drill beat me down,
Gonna die with a hammer in my hand, Lord, Lord, gonna die with a hammer in my hand. Well, the man that invented the steam drill, he thought he was mighty fine, but John Henry drove his 15 feet, and the steam drill only made 9, Lord, Lord, and the steam drill only made 9.
John Henry looked up at the mountain, and his hammer was striking fire. He hammered so hard that he broke his heart,
And he laid down his hammer and he died, Lord, Lord. He laid down his hammer and he died. They took John Henry to the tunnel. They buried him in the sand. And every locomotive comes roaring by, says, there lies a steel driving man, Lord, Lord. There lies a steel driving man.
All right, today we're going to be working together to make a tin can drum set. So while we've been talking about John Henry and that his job was to drive the steel, you know, you would hear the sound of that hammer hitting the steel and hearing metal being struck. And so that's what we sort of want to create the sound of with our instrument today. So you're going to need a few things. First, you can look in your recycling bin at home and find some different types of cans. So I'll show you what I have here today that I brought. So I have just a can that some vegetables came in. I think mine was green beans. I have a soda can there. And I also have, this was something that popcorn came in, I think as a Christmas gift, but maybe like a big coffee can could work too if you don't have that. So I tried to get some different sizes to see if there would be some different sounds. You may have some other types of cans at your house too. I mean, maybe an empty paint can. Maybe you have some of the bigger cans that the popcorn could come in. Maybe even a smaller can like tuna comes in, and you could try that size can too and see what it sounds like. So you're going to need some different cans, and you can do as few or as many as you like. Some kind of tape. I have some duct tape and masking tape, so something like this that's pretty sticky that can hold things together. And then you're going to need something to hit your drums with. So I grabbed a couple things. Certainly if you've got some metal spoons, that'll work, and that has that metal against metal sound. If you have something at your house, maybe some chopsticks, left over from your Chinese food, that could work, or even some pencils if you have those around, which is something you can use as sort of your drumstick and strike. You might want to try a few different things to see what the different sounds that they make. So that's about it. So now we're going to put our drum set together. So what I started off with, I have a few other cans here, and I'm going to show you how I attach them. So first, I'm going to use duct tape because I think that's pretty sticky and will keep things together pretty well. I'm going to make some tape donuts. So what I do is just tear a piece off, about that size, and then I'm going to roll it to stick it together. So I have a little cylinder like that, and kind of smoosh it down. So I'm going to take my can of green beans, empty can of green beans here, and I'm going to put that just on the side of it. And then I'm going to find a place. I'm sort of attaching them to the bigger can here, as you can see. And I'm just going to, if you can see that, I'm going to squish that right up against it. All right, and then it's on there pretty well for now. And then I think I'll also add, there's a little dent in there, pop that in open, another soda can to add on here. So again, I'm going to make another donut with my tape. Attach that on there, and let's see, I'll put that right here beside my green beans. All right, so right now, I don't know if you can see that, but I have 4 different drums. I have a big one, and then 4 different smaller ones there. What I want to do now to kind of make sure they all stay together is get a nice piece of tape that goes around the outside. I think I might use some masking tape for that. Just a little bit more flexible sometimes, but I think any kind of tape would do. So I'm just going to attach that like this and just sort of bring it all around and draw those all together. Be sure that they don't come apart. I'm going to wrap it the whole way around like so. Tear that tape off. And then if I lift this up, these are staying together pretty well. Now if you want to attach like a piece of yarn and make a strap of some sort, a piece of ribbon, that would be really cool. And then you could sort of like in a marching band, you could hang that off of you and play that way. Or you can also do it on the tabletop like I'm doing today. So either way. One thing I do have left, and you might have some lids from some cans too, like this. If you can figure out a way to maybe attach that and make it like a cymbal, like a hi-hat cymbal, that could be a cool thing to add too. Yeah, I don't know. We might be able to wedge it in there, or maybe get something that can hold it up. Like maybe we could stick a spoon in and kind of hang it off of it like that. I don't know. But we can experiment. But we've got some basic different sizes of drums now. So let's see what they sound like. I think I'm going to start with my chopsticks and see what I think of that sound, and then go from there. Pretty cool. I think this middle one sounded a little different. What do you think? Ooh, that's a little bit louder when I lift it up too. I might try playing that way. Might be a good idea to put that strap on. Sounds pretty cool. How are they sounding different? What do you think? This one in the middle, I think it sounds a lot lower than these ones. What do you think that is? It does look a lot bigger. It might be the size. The bigger the size of the drum, the lower it sounds. Let's see what it sounds like with a spoon. You can try it on the side and see if that's a different sound. Ooh, that is a lot softer here. Alright, so lots of different ways we could play that. And I bet that your instruments are going to sound a little different than mine because you're going to have a little bit different materials, a little bit different things that you're striking with them with, different sizes. We know different size cans now might have a different sound to them. It may even make a difference what kind of tape you use. I'm not sure. But why don't you try to put some together at home, and we would love to see what you come up with. So you can send a picture or maybe send a video of yourself playing your instrument. So I hope you have fun and enjoy learning about John Henry.
We've got one more song to do together today. I've started writing a new song to help us tell the story of John Henry, but it's not quite finished yet. There are some blanks in the words, and I'll need your help to help me figure out how the story should finish. Our theme for summer reading this year is Imagine Your Story, and I'm wondering if you can help me imagine what the most important parts of John Henry's story are and how we should fill in these blanks. And maybe you can also start working on imagining how you might tell your own story. What are the most important parts of your story? What do you want people to know? Whether it's putting it into a song like we're going to do here, or writing in a journal, start imagining how you want to tell the world your own story. Here's an example of the kinds of words we need your help to fill in. The beginning of the song goes, "Oh, John Henry was a man, yes, a man was he." What do you think we should put in there? Maybe we could do, "Oh, John Henry was a real living man, yes, a real living man was he." Or maybe you think a more important part of it would be, "Oh, John Henry was a steel-driving man, yes, a steel-driving man was he." Or maybe you think it's more important to say, "Oh, John Henry was a very brave man, yes, a very brave man was he." Lots of things could go in there. It's up to you. It's your job to imagine how the song could go. I'll play and sing for you what I have so far of the song, and you can help me fill in how the rest of it should go. Send in your ideas for how we could fill in the blanks to the Blossburg Library's email, and when we get your suggestions, we'll show you the finished story. Let's give this song a try. All right, here comes the song. Oh, John Henry was a man, yes, a man was he. He worked a mine called Old Big Bend in the state of WV. Oh, John Henry, he worked and swinging his hammer with ease, and it wasn't long for people said he's the best I ever did see. John Henry heard of a new machine that could, and he said to himself, now I believe. Now it could take over the scene. So John Henry said, I'm calling you out. I'll race against the machine. The workers gathered to watch the race, placing bets on who would win. Some must have thought that John was to think a tool was slower than him. The starters set them on their mark and wished them, and old John Henry set to prove. Oh, John Henry swung his hammer around, and but right beside machine. And after a time, a halt was called. The watchers ran to see who it was that drove the steel the best, John Henry or the machine. They found that John drove the machine. And at old Big Bend a cheer rang out, our hero John Henry had won. That's our song. You can see that there are quite a few gaps in there that I need your help to imagine how we might fill it in. I look forward to hearing your suggestions and putting it all together. Thanks so much for your help.
We hope you've had a great time learning about this American folk hero. Don't forget to send in your ideas for how we can finish the song and pictures and videos of you playing your tin can drum set.
If you liked learning about John Henry and you want to know more about him or his story or the railroads that helped link America, be sure to check out a grab and go book from the Blossburg Library.
We'll see you next time.
Bye!